amend as you see fit.
I saw that. Yes, I'll work on it over the next couple of weeks and send a draft to you, see how you like it, and then maybe we can roll it out for October.
Okay, sounds good.
We are now live.
Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. We respectfully acknowledge that the County of Haliburton is located on Treaty 20 Mishi-Saugig territory and in the traditional territory of the Mishi-Saugig and Chippewa Nations, collectively known as the Williams Treaties First Nations, which are Curve Lake, Rama, Hiawatha, Alderville, Scugog Island, Beausoleil, and Georgina Island First Nations. We acknowledge a shared presence of Indigenous nations throughout the area and recognize its original Indigenous inhabitants as the stewards of its lands and waters since time immemorial. Could I have a mover and a seconder to adopt the agenda today, please? Member Kennedy and Member McKelvey.
Be it resolved that the September 9th, 2025 Land Division Committee agenda be hereby approved.
All in favor? That's carried. Is there any declaration of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof today? Hearing none. Could I have a mover and a seconder to adopt the minutes of August the 11th? Members Donald and Snyder.
Be it resolved that the minutes of the Land Division Committee meeting held August 11th, 2025 be approved as printed and circulated.
All in favor? That's carried. So we'll get into consideration of the applications we have for consent. The first being from Birch for a lot addition in West Guilford.
I will just
go ahead.
Just share my
dice or dead all.
Just share my screen. One moment. Okay. I believe everyone can see that.
Yep.
The subject property is not yet municipally addressed, but legally described as Concession 3, Part Lot 33, Plan 582, Lot 171 in the geographic township of Guilford in the municipality of Dysart. The purpose of the application is for a lot addition to the abutting property to the west, 1217 Glen Lake Court. Both the subject property and benefiting property are designated rural lands in the county official plan and zoned waterfront residential type 4L in the Dysart zoning bylaw. The lot addition lands have an area of 247 square meters and contain sections of the driveway servicing 1217 Glen Lake Court. This application would resolve the driveway encroachment issue between the two lots. No changes to lot frontages are proposed, and the areas of the lots continue to meet official plan and zoning requirements. Additionally, no concerns were received from the circulation, and accordingly, staff are recommending approval of the application subject to the conditions contained in the staff report. Happy to answer any questions committee may have.
Any questions from the committee? Member Snyder?
Thank you. Elizabeth, is the retained lot developed?
Through you, Madam Chair, yes. Upon the site visit, it appears there is a cabin a bit closer to the shoreline than the development on the benefiting lands. I'm not entirely sure how it is accessed. It might be that that cabin is accessed through 1217 Glen Lake Court, because there isn't a separate driveway that I could find from Glen Lake Court for the retained lands. But yes, it is developed with a cabin.
So my follow-up question would be, by doing this lot addition, it changes the setbacks that if the lot, the vacant lot, I'll call it, is developed, it now has a new lot line that it has to be set back from. Why was this not done as a right-of-way?
Good question. I unfortunately can't answer that, but I do know that the applicant's agent, Ronnie Geyer from Bishop Geyer Surveying, is on the call as well, who might be better to answer that, and perhaps address any maybe setback discussion with the dwelling that's on the retained lands.
So if possibly, if we could bring Mr. Geyer in.
Yeah,
Good afternoon.
good afternoon. Thank you, Elizabeth, for tagging me in. Bless you. Yeah, the purpose was, so first of all, I wanted to comment about the cabin. I'll be honest, when we were on site, we did not notice that there was a cabin on the retained lands. So, because the idea with this was to tidy up this encroachment. They own both parcels. So the idea was to tidy up this encroachment where their parking area is used to access the cottage. And for building on the retained lands, the suitable building area is towards the back of the lot because of the topography. So in answer to the question about consideration for a right-of-way, they just wanted to clean up title entirely so that they had ownership of the parking area and the trail all belong to the cottage.
Any other questions for either Elizabeth or Mr. Geyer? Go ahead, Member Snyder.
Yes, thank you. You say that the lots are owned by the same individual. I assume then that, but they're not in the same names. Otherwise they would have merged.
Yeah, so they were merged, and then their lawyer had gone through the process to make sure that they were separated properly according to the original plan of subdivision. And that's now they have, you can see on the sketch, they each have their own separate PIN number.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Is there anyone else online who wishes to address the application? Hearing none, I guess if there are no further questions or concerns, could I have a mover and a seconder to receive the report related to the application and to grant provisional approval subject to the conditions that have been outlined? Moved by Member Donald, second by Member Kennedy.
That the Land Division Committee of the County of Haliburton receive the report related to application for consent H2325, and that the Land Division Committee for the County of Haliburton grant provisional approval of application for consent H2325, subject to the conditions of approval. Member McKelvey?
Yes.
Member Donald?
Yes.
Member Kennedy?
Yes.
Member Snyder?
Yes.
And Chair Danielson.
Yes. Thanks, Mr. Geyer.
Thank you very much.
So the next application is on Boshkong Lake Road. I'm just looking to see the owner. I see that they're being represented by Christine Sharp. Oh, the owner is Gilmore.
Sharing my screen. Okay. The subject property is located at 1041 Boshkung Lake Road with frontage on both Boshkung Lake and Buck Slide Roads in the township of Algonquin Highlands. It's designated rural lands in the county official plan and zoned rural as well, and developed with a dwelling and various accessory and farm structures. The purpose of the applications is to create 2 new rural residential lots, each having an area of 0.8 hectares and just under 113 meters of frontage each on Buck Slide Road. The retained lands would no longer have frontage on Buck Slide Road, but maintain the existing 324 meters of frontage on Boshkung Lake Road and have a resulting area of 9.15 hectares. In support of the applications, a scoped EIS prepared by Riverstone Environmental was submitted per the requirements of the Algonquin Highlands and county official plans. The scoped EIS identified and assessed the natural features and functions of the subject lands, including species at risk and assessment of watercourses, fish habitat, and habitat of endangered and threatened species. The resulting recommendations include the establishment of a 30-meter natural buffer around the identified wetland in the southeasterly corner of the retained lands, and mitigation measures to be implemented during and after site alteration and building construction to protect natural features and functions. The EIS does not specifically identify building envelopes on the proposed severed lots. However, it does provide a variety of recommendations related to vegetation clearing, septic design, and construction mitigation. The EIS concludes that the proposed creation of the rural residential lots will have no negative impact on environmental features or functions, subject to the recommended mitigation measures. Through the public circulation of the applications, a letter was received after the publishing of the agenda from a neighboring property owner, which committee received yesterday. It highlighted a concern regarding a potential pocket of wetland along the frontage of severed lot 1, right about here. This potential feature was not identified through the county's natural constraint mapping, nor by the ecologist's original site investigations. However, staff had a discussion with staff from Riverstone Environmental prior to the meeting to discuss the merits of the neighbors' concerns. Riverstone staff conducted a preliminary desktop review of the area on this call using air photos and other photographs, and determined that while the pocket of wetland is likely not a habitat for any species at risk, such as blandings, turtles, or other amphibians, nor does it look like it has extended periods of wetness or connections to a larger wetland complex, it may be beneficial to undertake some further analysis to determine if any setbacks need to be applied for a driveway and development envelope on specifically lot 1. Given that it's not a matter of if the lot can be developed, but just specifically how the lot should be developed, staff are recommending that the application to create lot 1 be approved, subject to the conditions contained in the staff report, with condition 5 being amended to also include the need to review this wetland pocket rather than just reference the deer wintering component as it's currently written in the report. So the condition would read, the registered owners are to submit an environmental impact study completed by a qualified professional demonstrating that there will be no negative impacts to the deer wintering area or wetland located along Buck Slide Road as a result of the proposal. Then with respect to proposal lot 2, the recommendation remains the same, that the application be approved subject to the conditions contained in the staff report. And so with that, I would be happy to answer any questions committee might have.
Any questions for Elizabeth from the committee? Hearing none, I believe we may have several parties online who wish to speak to the application. I think the applicant for the owner, Christine Sharp, may be present, as well as the owner, Mr. Gilmore. If you want to bring them on line.
And Chair Danielson, we also have the author of the letter, the neighbor that submitted it, on the call as well today.
And okay.
Hello, can you hear us?
Yes, we
Yep.
can.
Okay, good.
Good afternoon to you both. You've heard Elizabeth's report. Is there anything that you'd like to add as far as comments?
No, we're well aware of the wetland and we are, I live here full time, so of course I want to protect the land that's around our existing land. So yes, we agree with the recommendations.
Okay, sounds good. Do any members of the committee have questions or comments for the applicants? And the individual who voiced a concern, are they present, or could we bring them on? Good afternoon, Bridget. If you could state your full name and then maybe voice your concerns. Bridget, can you hear me? You're on mute. You're still on mute. There should be a little microphone down in the, I think, bottom right-hand corner of the Zoom screen.
Depending on the computer, you can also temporarily unmute it by holding down the space bar.
Well, there's a new piece of information. Can you hear us, Bridget? Okay.
Hi, Bridget. There should be a prompt coming up on your screen that's asking you to unmute. If you click yes to this, it'll allow you to talk.
We'll give you another minute. Um,
Bridget did just email me and noted that it's not letting her unmute. I'm not entirely sure how to resolve this.
I guess all I can say, Bridget, is that if you can't unmute yourself, I'd assure you that Elizabeth, our planner, has voiced the concerns that you have raised, and we have added a condition to the approval of the request to address your concern. And I think we can all feel your pain when your computer does not do what you want it to do.
Elizabeth, could you reread the amended condition 5, please?
Absolutely. That the registered owners are to submit an environmental impact study completed by a qualified professional, demonstrating that there will be no negative impacts to the deer wintering area or wetland located along Buckslide Road as a result of the proposal. So this would just ensure that on top of what's already addressed in the EIS, that would further.
Wetland also. Yeah.
Mhm,
Okay.
exactly. And just through confirmation with Sean at the township this morning, the EIS would be registered on title through an agreement. And so any development of the lot would have to respect the 5126 agreement.
And one additional question, the construction requirements are fairly extensive. Who's responsible for monitoring that? Could be the township building people or planning people, or?
Typically, those types of inspections are undertaken through the building process when building department staff go out on site to do inspections. If it's anything that's covered under the building code, it could be part of the permit as well.
So that would be Algonquin Highlands chief building official or his deputy.
Right.
Christine, you wanted to make a comment? Go ahead.
Yeah, just more clarification, Elizabeth. Just you said in the recommendation that an EIS study. I just wanted to clarify that it's not necessarily a separate EIS study, but it can be an addendum or something added on to the existing one that's been done.
You, Madam Chair. Exactly. So the condition always reads as if a study's not been submitted yet. So it would just be that the package that is received by the township for implementation through a 5126 agreement contains those various components to it. So you can take what you've already had completed, have an addendum that just looks at that wetland, submit both to the township.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Any other questions from committee members of either Elizabeth or Bar or Christine? Bless you. Hearing none, could I then have a mover and a seconder to receive the staff report to grant provisional approval of the applications based on the recommendations or conditions that have been listed, with the addition of condition 5 that has been detailed by our planner. Member McKelvey and Member Snyder.
That the Land Division Committee of the County of Haliburton received the staff report related to application for consent H24 and 2525, and that the Land Division Committee for the County of Haliburton grant provisional approval of application for consent H2425 related to severed lot 1, subject to the conditions outlined in the staff report, with condition 5 amended to read as follows. The registered owners are to submit an environmental impact study completed by a qualified professional, demonstrating that there will be no negative impacts to the deer wintering area or wetland located alongside Buckslide Road as a result of the proposal. And that the Land Division Committee for the County of Haliburton grant provisional approval of the application for consent H2525 related to severed lot 2, subject to the conditions outlined in the staff report. Member Donald,
Yes.
Member Kennedy,
Yes.
Member McKelvey,
Yes.
Member Snyder,
Yes.
and Chair Danielson.
Yes. That's carried. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other
Hey,
business
Pat.
for us? Have a good rest of the day. Any other business for the committee to discuss?
At this point, we actually do not have any applications for the October meeting. However, a peer review process of an EIS is wrapping up. So those hopefully land on the October agenda. And there's still lots of time for people to submit as well. There is quite a bit of activity from the council endorsements at the local municipalities making their way into formal applications at the county. So I do anticipate an agenda for October. Just right now, there is none. So yes, stay tuned, but I don't anticipate that it will be a large agenda when it does occur.
Okay. So everyone's available for October the 14th. Okay, that's great. Thank you. Bob, you have a question?
That's the 14th instead of the 13th?
Oh,
Thanksgiving?
yeah, because the
Thanksgiving. We're not getting together on Thanksgiving?
No turkey.
well, it would be lovely, but it sounds like no.
Okay.
Okay, then if that's everything, thanks to the members and to you, Elizabeth. And could I have a motion to adjourn? Moved by Member McDonald, seconded by Member Kennedy. I should have done that in reverse, Pat.
Be it resolved that the September 9th, 2025 Land Division Committee meeting be hereby adjourned.
All in favor? That's carried.